Hello and welcome to our scoop. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoy this video. Story 1. Am I wrong for kicking my girlfriend out for having her ex over while I wasn't present? Me, 35M, and my girlfriend, Sarah, 35F, have been together for 4 years. She has a son, Nathan, 9M, with her ex, Mark, 36M. Sarah has full custody of Nathan, with her ex having scheduled visitations one weekend of every month. Sarah and Nathan moved in with me a little over a year and a half ago, and in my perspective, it was a little rocky at first. I've always been pretty protective of my space, so making room for 2 other people was difficult for me. When Sarah moved in with me, we agreed that the visitations for Mark would be held in our apartment as long as I'm home. The main reason I wanted this is because I don't know Mark that well, and I don't want him wandering around our apartment without me there. When we proposed this idea to Mark, he was fine with it. Now, moving on to the real issue. 3 weeks ago marked 4 months since Mark's last visit, so I had asked Sarah when he was planning on visiting Nathan. My girlfriend replied by shrugging her shoulders and telling me she'd ask. She never followed up with it. So a few days ago, I asked when Mark's next visit was, and Sarah said she'd tell me when she knew. Nathan was in the living room, but had apparently overheard us and shouted something along the lines of, "Dad was here last weekend. Remember?" Sarah's face immediately dropped, and when I asked what Nathan meant, she wouldn't give me a direct answer. Eventually, she ended up telling me that for the past 2 visits, Mark had been to our apartment when I was working. When I accused her of going back on our agreement, she kept telling me this was her home too and she could invite whoever she wanted, and that it was fine because she was here and watching. I told her that was besides the point and she violated my trust. It blew up into a huge argument, which ended in me telling her to get out of my apartment. She packed up and left with Nathan. Last I heard, she was staying with her parents. I've gotten several messages from both Sarah and her parents calling me an asshole for kicking her and Nathan out of their home for something so small. She's even been blasting me on Instagram and Facebook about how horrible I am to do this to her. It's got me thinking I might be in the wrong, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Am I wrong? Edit. I can't see why it's important, but the court order was instructed because of Mark having a criminal record. I'm not sure what it's for, as Sarah has never directly told me and I didn't want to push her to tell me. Opinion. In my opinion, you have every right to kick her out. Really, she can't blame anybody but herself, because this is a situation that she had complete control over. She knew the terms when she moved in with you. You set clear boundaries and she decided to disrespect those boundaries and had absolutely zero intention of ever telling you. This is a complete violation of trust, and she doesn't seem mature enough to understand that. Especially by the way she is blasting you on social media. This doesn't seem like a good type of person to be with anyway, and she finally showed you her true colors. Your best bet would be to leave her, because who knows what other sneaky things she could be doing without your knowledge. I wouldn't stick around to find out if I were you. I'm sorry that you found out about this behavior after 4 years of being together. I hope that you find somebody who would never do this to you. Story 2. How do I, 31M, move forward after my wife, 30F, posted nudes and sent dirty messages to a guy behind my back? My, 31M, wife, 30F, and I have been married for 8 years. We have 2 great kids and what I thought was a near-perfect marriage. We had our second child about 8 months ago, and things have been great. Baby sleeps all night, hardly cries, and is just all around a great baby. Our relationship is better than ever, and my wife's sex drive has been through the roof lately. She's been feeling confident in her body again after the baby. She sends me dirty messages throughout the day, and we have had sex 3 to 5 times a week for the past few months or 2. Last week she sent me a dirty picture, and I said something along the lines of, "Those are just for me, right?" half joking, when she replied that she had actually shared that picture to Reddit. A friend of hers is a regular poster on the NSFW side of Reddit and is fairly open about it. My wife said she just felt sexy and wanted to show off. I was not super happy about this, as we had never even discussed something like this, and I had to go check Reddit for myself to see. I find that she had been posting daily for the past 5 days, and interacting with some of the people leaving comments. This hurt me pretty bad. I felt like my trust had been betrayed. So when I got home that night, we had a normal night, put the kids to bed, and had a real discussion about it. I stayed calm and told her how it made me feel. That I felt like my trust had been broken. She was very apologetic the whole time, cried and told me she understood, and how sorry she was, how good of a man I was for not leaving her, and a lot of stuff like that. Now don't get me wrong, I was upset about the Reddit posts she made and the comments, but I honestly didn't take it that hard, like I was going to leave my wife over that. And it just didn't sit right with me how apologetic and sorry she was over something that wasn't that bad. So I straight up asked her if there was anything else I needed to know. I feel like you were hiding something from me, and I promise not to be mad if you just tell me everything now. She very convincingly told me there was nothing else, that she had told me everything. It would never happen again. I forgave her, and we moved on, and had a great night. This was Thursday. We had a great weekend. I took her out on a date Saturday night, and we spent all day Sunday together as a family watching Halloween movies. A very loving weekend. It felt good to have such a great weekend after what had happened on Thursday. Cut to yesterday, the following Monday. I had to work late and my wife took the kids to have dinner at her parents' house. On nights like that, I usually get home an hour or so before they do and I'm home alone. I had this feeling in my gut that there was more to what happened on Thursday that I didn't know about. So I decided to look on our laptop just to see if there was something obvious. I checked her email, and when I looked in the email trash, I saw a Snapchat friend had added her, and she had deleted the email, but only to the trash, not permanently. Whatever, no big deal. Just a Snapchat friend request. That just happened to be sent the day I found out about the Reddit nudes she was posting. So I check her Facebook. She leaves it logged in all the time. And I see messages from a guy with the same name as the Snap friend. As I'm reading the messages, I notice that parts of the conversation are missing, like they've been deleted. My heart dropped. I knew right then something had happened with this guy. When my wife got home with the kids, I acted like nothing was wrong, calmly got the kids in the house and got them in bed. And I just asked my wife who the guy was. She denied it. And then I showed her the Snapchat email that was deleted. Then the Facebook messages that were obviously deleted. And she just started crying. She told me everything. The guy was just some guy we knew from high school, who she had been sending memes back and forth to for months. Never anything sexual at all until he saw her Reddit post. He had sent her a message about how hot she was. And she liked the attention. She asked him for pictures and videos of his genitals. She talked dirty to him about how she wanted to give him oral and have sex with him. She eventually told me that this had been going on since she first posted over a week ago. The worst part of all of this is the messaging continued even after our talk on Thursday. After she had apologized and cried and told me how sorry she was. Told me how she would never hurt me again. Friday morning she is explicitly messaging this other guy while I'm at work. She had been texting him all the way until hours before I had found it on Monday. I honestly don't know where this would have gone if I hadn't caught it. And I can't help but feel like my wife is more sorry that she got caught than she is sorry she did this. I really just don't know how to handle this. What to do. How I can move forward with my wife. If I can ever trust her again. I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose my wife. She is my best friend. She is the one person I thought I could always depend on. And trust. She tells me she wants to do whatever it takes to work this out. But I honestly don't know if I'll ever get over this. How do I move forward from this with my wife? I don't want to lose my family, but I don't know how to heal from this. Opinion. To be honest, your wife is cheating on you. And she's doing it because she wants to. 100%. I hope you realize that this is what she's doing and she 9 times out of 10 is only sorry that she got caught. Because if her apology was genuine, then she would have stopped immediately after you confronted her the first time. After 2 times. How could you even give her your trust? She broke it twice. And I bet she'll do it again. I believe that every marriage is different. But the basic principles and respect should be applied to all relationships in my opinion. Trust is the most fundamental aspect of a relationship. The bare minimum. You guys have been together for 8 years. There's almost no way that she didn't think this would upset you. It's understandable that you don't want to ruin or lose your family. But she is the one who initiated all of this. She obviously did not care enough about you guys' family to do this. I am sorry you are going through this. I hope that you find happiness and if you'd like, for your marriage to be great again. Story 3. My ex, 29M, decided to end things by trickle ghosting me, 28F. I was starting to heal until I found out the reasons why he ghosted. The past several months have been incredibly draining and hard for me. I'm not sure if I'm looking for advice or just a place to vent. My ex, Tom, and I had been together for about 4 years and we were extremely happy together. Or so I thought. We had been discussing the possibility of getting married. And even looking for a house for us to move into, but we were not living together. I was happy. And I thought he was too. We had a lot in common. Never fought. We traveled together. My friends liked him. His friends like me. Our families got along together. Etc. I could go on. Everything was fine until our last trip together. We went to a destination where I had always wanted to go. But because of cost and distance, it seemed like something I'd have to wait longer to do. It was his idea for us to go here. We saved a lot of money and were able to make this 2-week trip. Once we got back from this vacation, things started to get weird. After we landed, the last time I saw him, he told me he was feeling unwell and sick from the trip and wanted to go home to sleep. I didn't think this was too unusual, so we said our goodbyes. I tried texting and calling him the following day to see if he was feeling better and he didn't respond. I started to worry. But he finally sent me a single text saying he was fine but tired about 2.5 days after our trip ended. From there our communication basically broke down. I can't say he fully ghosted me, because he would occasionally send me a message, and didn't remove me from any social media. From that point I tried to contact him by calling, texting, and sending a message on Facebook and he didn't respond. After about 4 to 6 days of no communication, he would end up sending me a couple of texts and then I wouldn't hear from him for several more days. What hurt even more was this ghosting period overlapped with New Year's, Valentine's Day and my birthday, days on which nothing happened and he didn't even wish me a happy whatever. I felt like I was going crazy. I had no idea what was going on and just wanted some sort of answer from him. I was also extremely embarrassed to talk to anyone about what was happening. I stopped going out as much. And didn't really see my friends for the 2+ months he was trickle ghosting me. I found myself lying to my friends and family about his whereabouts, telling them he was busy with work, visiting his family, he was sick, or any excuse I could think of whenever I showed up somewhere without him. I eventually broke down. I contacted one of his good friends whom I felt comfortable with and asked her to meet up with me. I told her that Tom had barely spoken to me in the 2+ months. He's only sent me a few text messages and I have no idea what's going on. I told her I didn't know if he was mad at me, if we were broken up, still together, or if there was something else going on that I needed to know about. She looked kind of shocked and confused and told me that Tom had told all of his friends that we had broken up and that I was taking it really hard, and out of respect for me not to bring it up if anyone saw me. This was soul-crushing to hear and I felt humiliated and worthless. I told her this wasn't the case, and that he never verbally confirmed that we were broken up. She said she was extremely angry at him and would talk to him. Throughout March and April, I felt like I was starting to heal some. I felt broken. But I started to pick up the pieces again and began to feel a bit more whole. I told my friends and family the truth about what happened, and they were nothing but supportive and helpful. Then I found out some additional information about why he ghosted me and what happened on his end. He had apparently been cheating on me for a while. Not sure how long, but a little less than a year. I'm also hurt because I know the person he cheated on me with. She's an absolute garbage person. And I'm not saying that as a jaded ex-girlfriend. She has always hung around our group but has never really been a part of it. I've heard her say some extremely bigoted things about minorities, the LGBT community, and non-Christians. She is the type of person who is proud to take advantage of government assistance programs when she doesn't need it. She somehow was able to claim disability and has bragged about pulling the wool over the government's eyes. I think she was able to somehow use her obesity problem as her disability. I'm really not sure. I can't really confirm any of this. It could be a lot of talk and bullshit on her end. I've always thought you need to be drug tested in order to get some government benefits. And she does a lot of drugs. Not only does she take advantage of programs meant for people who can't help themselves, but she has sent a couple of $1,000s a month from her rich parents, which she also brags about. Her parents have paid for her car, and I think they pay her rent too. So the money she gets is spent on pretty much whatever she wants. She spends her days getting drunk at the bars and restaurants my friends and I frequent, and will interject herself into our outings. She has also tried to sell us hard drugs in the past and usually mentions that any of us are welcome to her place to get high. Tom apparently started to get high with her at her place and was originally just trying to hide his drug use because he knew I wouldn't approve. Then he started to get high and then have sex with her. He felt guilty and embarrassed about it. But this wasn't enough for him to stop getting high with her. His intentions were to just get high and then leave to go back to his place. But what would usually happen is they would end up having sex once they were both properly high. This woman hated my guts and kept pushing Tom to break up with me so they could be a couple. He didn't want to end things with me, but felt so guilty and disgusted with himself that he thought the best thing to do was to just try to ghost me. Tom kept their relationship secret for a while, until she got tired of their secret relationship status. So she just started to blurt things out about them when his friends were all together at their usual bar. He came clean to his friends about it, but was so embarrassed that he shortly ended things with her after his secret was found out. I only found out about this because the same friend I had met up with a couple of months ago reached out to warn me that Tom was going to try to get back together with me, and felt that I deserved to know the truth in case he isn't forward with what happened. 1. There is no way in hell that I'd get back together with Tom. 2. I can't help but feel like absolute dog crap that Tom would end things with me over that kind of garbage person, and I'm having a hard time understanding why he would choose some waste of space over someone who is actually trying to be a person and is successful. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm dreading the possibility of seeing his face again. I don't know if I could contain my urge to slap him, or if I would just break down and sob. I was doing well from moving on from him. I was starting to feel happy again. Now, I think I'm back at square one. I'm depressed and stressed out. Is there anything I can do? I kind of want to stay hidden in my apartment, not answering calls until this is all over. Opinion. Honestly, if this is how he decided to end things, then so be it. It is a reflection of his character, not yours. Him ghosting you was the best thing that could have happened the second he started cheating on you. You don't deserve to be treated like that. Remember your worth and value, and the right person will appreciate it. The least he could do is break up with you properly instead of hiding from it. He cheated on you, and then was too afraid to confront you himself. How ridiculous. I wish you the best in your healing. Please just wait until you are over this situation to start dating again. I know that it sucks and that you probably feel like you wasted 4 years on him, but at least you guys didn't end up married before all of this happened. Find your peace, and just try to move forward the best you can and focus on getting back to yourself. Don't let this fool ruin your happiness. We only get so much time on this earth. So try to enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next latest scoop.